Hello there and welcome. In this video we're going to be talking about why ponds go green and how to cure that problem. So this time of year when the sun comes out and the fish start feeding, most people's ponds go a horrible green colour. You can't see the fish and it's disappointing for everybody involved. What makes your pond go green? Well, when the sun starts shining down, it's providing a source of light for the algae. Now, algae is a photosynthetic organism, and obviously more light will equal more growth. But to grow, it will also need food. At this time of year, the fish will start waking up and start feeding, and you're obviously going to start giving them the food. Now, when fish feed, they will also poo, and poo is going to come out of them, and it's going to create a source of nitrates and phosphates. And nitrates and phosphates is the fertilizer that the algae needs, in addition to the sunlight, to grow. So there we have the main reasons why your pond will go green. Sunlight and food. Now there's not a whole lot you can do about this other than covering your pond up or starving your fish, neither of which you really want to do. So what's the solution to green pond water? Well, let's go through the 3 ways that you can make your pond water go clear. And you don't have to use all 3 of these, you can use any one of them or in any combination that you like. And they can all be effective on their own. So the first way of making your pond clear is to add a filter with a UV, or to add a UV as a standalone addition to a filter that's already present in your pond. So a UV light is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's a tube that emits UV radiation. Now UV radiation, or UV light, is particularly bad for living organisms. So the way UV light works is the water from your pond will flow through it, get hit by a dose of UV light, and that will kill the floating algae within your pond. It will then be taken out normally by some filter media within your filter, and out will come clean water. Do this for long enough and your pond will become a clear paradise for your fish. The only drawback to using a UV light is you will need to change the bulb every year at the start of the season preferably, and that is an added cost. However, they are very effective at doing their job. The second way to make your pond go crystal clear are to use chemicals. Now, I'm not a huge fan of chemicals being put into ponds, however they can be useful in their own way. One of the more natural ways of clearing a pond is to use a thing called barley straw. Now it is exactly that, it's just barley straw in a bale that you throw in your pond at the start of the year, and as it rots, it releases hydrogen peroxide, and that will kill the algae in the pond. It will also kill blanket weed, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword. There's no real drawbacks to using barley straw, and many large government agencies use it as well. Other chemicals available are potent algicides, which target floating algae in particular, and also ones that are flocculants, which basically mean the algae will stick together, fall to the bottom of the pond, or be taken into the filter and removed by the sponges. The drawback to both of these chemicals is that they only work for a short period of time and they don't stop the algae coming back, so you have to keep using them if you want to keep your pond clear. Also, some are more effective than others, and they are generally quite expensive. The third way of creating crystal clear pond water is to remove the food available for the algae. Even if there's plentiful sunlight, even on days like today, if there's no food for the algae, there won't be any algae. So how do you do that? Well, this is the most natural method, and also, I feel, the best looking. And that is to add lots of plants to your pond. Now, as you can see, this pond is actually pretty small, it's about 500 litres. It's probably slightly overstocked, however the water is crystal clear. And that's because there are many plants in this pond. Now all of these plants will be sucking out nutrients from this water, and that means all the poo and all the food that goes into the pond won't get converted into algae, they get converted into red flowers, which is just the way I like it. The best plants to plant in your pond are reeds, like these, and irises. because these are the most effective at removing nitrates and phosphates from the pond water. However, any plants will do the job as long as there are a lot of them. Now, I personally prefer the planted route to clear water. However, any of the three I've mentioned will work just fine. I would recommend, if you're going to use any of the two, to use the plants and the UV route, because that will give you crystal clear water pretty quickly. So if you like this video, please remember to subscribe and like the video below. Leave a comment if you have any questions or suggestions. Thank you for watching, and happy fish keeping!